Hi, it's me, Vamp, and welcome back or welcome to the podcast. Now, today, actually, I have a lot to talk about and a little to talk about at the same time. Now, I know it seems like I talk about Warframe stuff first, but that's because that's the main game that I'm into at the moment. So yeah, I guess let's talk about Warframe first. I mean, it seems to be the somewhat tradition for now. Can't guarantee that will always be the case, but that's the way it is right now. So that's what we are going with. Okay. So, Warframe in response to the holidays is what I'm going to mention right now. There's a reason why I brought up the holidays. And that is mostly because of the fact that I touched on this in last week's podcast. If you'd like to check that out, you can feel free to. But new games coming out for the holiday. Halo Infinite is a good example. Halo Infinite multiplayer already came out, but the main game is still coming out December 8th. 7th? 8th. 8th? 8th, as far as I know, which, is still well within the holiday season. It actually has a good chance to sell some Xboxes because of the fact that it is an Xbox exclusive title. Well, it's also on PC, so at the very least, it's probably going to sell some Game Pass subscriptions because that seems to be the thing. Now, Warframe, I know what you guys were thinking. Vamp, how did that relate to Warframe? Well, I'll tell you. See, Warframe does not have the same holiday catch in that sense. In the sense that, oh, it's a console seller, oh, it's a pass seller or something. But Warframe does have a thing coming up. The new war. There are new quests at the time of making this video. Podcast. Well, I'm going to upload a snippet of this to YouTube. YouTube.com/Warframe Madness. Okay. Which actually brings me to something that I will talk more about later. It has to do with YouTube Shorts. But anyway, for now, back to what I was saying. Now, this leads me to believe that something may or may not happen. I don't know anything that would happen for sure, but the new war is sort of Warframe's chance to leverage the holidays, as it were. Leverage the holidays, as in this will be their big chance that they have to, be like, oh, we can sell this alongside that. People still people still play for free, and they can have an added bonus of buying something if they want to catch up instantly. Now, do I think Warframe will ever implement something like skip to X level or skip ahead to Y level or Z level or whatever? No, I do not. Nor do I think Warframe should add something like that. I honestly don't think something like that is a very good idea. Now, what will they leverage, you ask? Well, okay, so as of recording this podcast, a lot of your Warframe fans have already seen one of the things they are sort of leveraging, for lack of a better term, and that is vaulted primes. With the whole, even though it's a temporary event, maybe permanent if it does well enough, prime resurgence. You guys have seen Regal Aya is a new premium currency in Warframe for now, at least. And that coincided in with the new war, which is coming out this holiday season, which you see where I'm going with that. That's part of the leverage. The only reason why that would be any good deal at all, or that most people would be willing to even buy it, or by most I mean some, it's because they're preparing for the new war this holiday season. And as a result, if you buy something, usually you're more likely to spend time on it. Now, not to be outdone, Destiny 2 has its 30th anniversary pack already for people to buy. It includes a Galahorn, which is actually fans of the original Destiny would definitely buy this pack, no problem at all, just for that. Honestly, I'm even tempted. And you know what makes holiday season so good for video games in general? Money. Usually, like, friends or family, when they don't know what to get someone, what do they give them? Money. That's why games always go for the holiday season. That's why it's important for Warframe to sort of continue leveraging this holiday season so they can get the most out of it, so people will actually want to spend money. Actually, Warframe, as an example, does not, I know that it's going to sound odd considering everything that's in their in-game market and whatnot, but Warframe does not leverage, money or per se as much as other games. Like, let's say Destiny 2, for example. Both Warframe and Destiny 2 are free to download, free to, like, do a few things or whatever. The difference is Warframe, every mission, free, no matter what. Destiny 2, however, there are certain missions and content, lots of missions and content you're locked out of pretty early unless you give them money. So you could say they both go about it two different ways, which is why, even though the new war is what Warframe has going for it, because it's like 4 years in the wait, everyone's in the making, everyone's waiting for it and whatnot. Destiny 2 still has a better holiday leverage, as it were, because what Destiny 2 has is, since they put everything behind paywalls and everything anyway, no one gets too upset when they have something behind a paywall. It's like, oh no, I didn't see that coming, you've only done it every single time. So yeah, that's with that. But it's not just in-game stuff. that we should talk about. It's also other games coming out. As I mentioned earlier in the podcast, you have Halo Infinite coming out. And, that's something people will want to check out. I'm sure there will be some indie titles, a lot of indie titles. I'm pretty sure there'll be some good indie titles. I mean, okay, that might seem a little harsh to say, but not every indie title is good, and some indie developers actually know that because see, from an indie developer point of view, you'll have certain types of developer. You'll have the developer that wants everything to be perfect. You'll have the type of developer where, they want their game or product to be good, but they don't need it to be perfect because they realize that, perfecting every little detail costs money that they don't have. And then you'll have your indie developers that their whole thing is quantity over quality. If they can pump out 1,000 games and 20 of them do really well, then they basically made their money back, especially if they reuse assets across all the games. So yeah, that's where their thing is. So yeah, there's going to be some indie game coming out, some good indie game coming out. There'll be the AAA titles are either going to be having DLCs, expansions, or whatever. There's going to be a lot to try to sway, people to spend their money on. So, circling back rather, to Warframe, that's where Warframe has the disadvantage, I suppose. But at the same time, that we don't know fully yet what advantage Warframe has. Because the new war is set to launch in December, so that I'm assuming it's going to launch closer to Christmas, which, they could add in a bunch of stuff to the in-game market, or they could have special holiday stuff. They usually put platinum on sale, so people might be willing to buy that. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But from that, I'd like to move to the YouTube short category, because I did vaguely mention that we'd come back to that, and I did want to say that I've been trying to, do more YouTube shorts. I also do actually have a TikTok. I almost said TikTok. Speaking of Tic Tacs, the orange flavor ones? Those are my favorite ones. Okay, anyway. So, TikTok. I do actually have a TikTok. It's at Vamp6x6x6x. That's my TikTok. And I do TikTok stuff on it, alongside the YouTube Shorts when I can. But the biggest difference between TikTok and the YouTube Shorts, probably the whole copyright thing. I don't know how TikTok gets around it. Maybe because they aren't an ad place. I don't know. I don't really know how that works. I'm not a record label. I don't know if record labels get like 5 cents or royalties or whatever whenever something is played of theirs on TikTok. I don't really know how any of that works. Like I said, not really my area of expertise. But yeah, in my opinion, that's probably what's holding YouTube Shorts back a little bit. Because I do have some TikToks that I could upload to YouTube, no problem. But I specifically match the beat to a certain song or whatever, and that song, of course, is going to be copyright. So yeah, there's the downside with that. I actually kind of forget how we even came about the whole YouTube Shorts discussion. I think I'm just rambling. But while I am rambling, I do want to mention that I am very hyped for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands next year. It's set to come out, I always forget when, February or March, one of the two. And yeah, hopefully I'll have the money at the time to get. I guess that depends if I can save up any of my holiday money. Yeah, see, circled it back around. Holiday money. And that's what so many people get. They either get holiday money or, the parents are asking the kids, what do you want for Christmas? And then the kids are like, oh, I want the new Call of Duty. I want an Xbox Series X. I want a PS5. I want an OLED Nintendo Switch. Speaking of OLED Nintendo Switch, it's very weird. It's like this full 180 that most people I've seen have done. Originally, it was like, oh, that nothing really new. It's just a Switch that cost more money, an OLED screen, whatever. And then it's like, oh, this runs smoother and it has the nicest screen ever. I'll be honest, I really don't understand. I'm sticking with my Switch, but then again, my Switch is almost always docked. So, there's that. I really wouldn't get any benefit out of an OLED screen. Now, speaking of the Switch, I do actually want this controller. It's a N64 controller. It's an N64 controller for the Nintendo Switch. Now, unfortunately, scalpers got a hold of it and they are basically driving the price up higher and higher to a ridiculous price, as scalpers do. But yeah, honestly, I feel like I went on a rant. Check. I talked about what I needed to talk about. Check. Oh, and speaking of the Nintendo Switch, I don't know if I told you guys, but I'm low-key addicted to Animal Crossing. By the way, whenever I say that, I type it out to someone, I always spell it Loki, because Loki, as in Warframe Loki. Suffice to say, I only do that to Warframe fans. Otherwise, other people would have no clue what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think I'm going to end this podcast here. With just stay safe this holiday season. I'll be most likely doing another podcast episode before the holidays, so I don't know why I said that, but it's still good advice tip. I don't know. Is stay safe actually advice? I'd advise you to stay safe now. I don't know. I'm ending it here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.